you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel...
Hi guys, welcome to another SSI True Crime YouTube video. It's been a while, my camera broke and I had to buy a new one. But I hope you've been enjoying my podcasts. If you're new, check out my podcasts. I have a couple of other videos as well. And think about subscribing. So, if you don't know me, I'm Hazel. And I live in Surrey in the UK. The case I'm going to be covering today is actually from about 5 minutes up the road from me. And it's known as the Clay Corner Murder. Or the Goat Hair Murder, depending where you look it up. So let's get on with the case. So in 1951, a man named Frederick Gosling was a shopkeeper at Clay Corner in Chertsey in Surrey in the UK. He was 79 years old and he had been working at the corner shop for 44 years. Although he was of advanced age, his health was actually in really good condition, apart from he had a few hearing problems. He was supported by his daughter, son and daughter-in-law. They would visit him regularly, cook for him, do some cleaning for him, just generally help him out with things that he might need. There was a rumour in the local area that Frederick would keep a lot of cash on the premises. And this became the knowledge of 3 lads from Ashford in what was Middlesex. Middlesex would have been like right next to Surrey. There's no such thing as Middlesex anymore. So these 3 lads decided that they were going to rob Frederick. They borrowed a car, drove to Chertsey, and they parked in Wheat Ash Road, which is just round the corner from Clay Corner. They entered the shop and attempted to rob Frederick, but 3 young schoolgirls walked in and disturbed them, so they just fled. Frederick rang the police and reported this robbery. 2 police officers attended the scene. PC Hall and Sergeant H.W. Jobson attended the shop. They couldn't get an accurate description of the lads or a good timeline of events, so it was just marked down as an attempted robbery, and that's where they left it. So the very next day, the milkman arrived, and Frederick lived in an apartment above his shop. So you have the shop, and then there was like a flat above. The milkman arrived and realised that the door was unlocked to this accommodation. So he went in to check that Frederick was okay. Sadly, Frederick wasn't. Frederick was found bound and gagged and sadly deceased. Autopsy later showed that it was the gagging that had actually killed him. He had died by asphyxiation. So basically the gag that had been put in his mouth had suffocated him. There had been clear signs that it was a robbery. The safe was open in the bedroom, although the lock had not been broken. This had been opened properly. There was coins scattered in the safe and on the floor. Other things in the bedroom had been rummaged through, but the rest of the flat didn't seem to have been touched. There was a bag of cigarettes and tobacco that had been packaged up as if they were going to take them, but then left behind. The police were stumped. They had no idea who committed this murder. But a witness very quickly came forward. She said that she had seen a man that she knew on the day of the attempted robbery. His name was Fred Brown. Fred Brown was arrested and questioned. He straight away implicated that his brother Joe Brown and a friend named Edward Smith had attempted to rob the store that day. He made it clear that his brother George Brown, who had actually escaped from prison and was on the road, had no idea of any of this and was definitely not involved. He also wanted to state that although he took part in the attempted robbery, he knew nothing about the return or about the death of Frederick Gosling. Friends forensics were taken from the car that they used for the attempted robbery, and they found something unusual. They found goat hair. In Frederick's bedroom, he had a rug, and this was a goat hair rug that was shed, and these hairs matched perfectly to the hairs in the car. This placed the three men at the scene, and not just at the scene of the shop, but in Frederick's bedroom. All three men went to trial. Because Fred Brown decided to give evidence against his brother and friend, he was given immunity. Although he was charged, he was then dismissed. The other two were charged with murder, and they were sentenced to death by hanging. They were executed on the 25th of April, 1951. This would be the last double hanging Surrey would ever see. And that's the end of the case. I'm sorry it's a short one. It wasn't a very well known case. There wasn't tons of information. It was solved very quickly. But I thought I'd do this video because people in my local area, this case fascinates them. We don't have a ton of murders around here, so when something like this does happen, it's big news. Thank you for watching. Please remember to give me a like. Give me a comment, let me know what videos you'd like to see, any cases you'd like me to cover. And obviously please subscribe if you like my content. Turn on the bell so you're notified when I upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake?